Afternoon. Been doing this enough time. Figure it's time to finally do a little bit of behind the scenes. So here we are, Giles County, Pembroke, Virginia. Going to be talking about our turkey duck ranch. So we're on about 2 acres out here. Most of what we work with is about 1 acre, and this is one of our more productive portions of the property. What we've got here is a nice fescue bluegrass orchard mix. You can see where some of the grain that we feed out to our turkeys and ducks has gotten on the ground and made some lighter green clumps. And we followed frost seeding red and white clover, 4 pounds red, 2 pounds white, back in spring of 22. In terms of how our turkey and duck operation goes, we've been moving the animals around the property on a frequency basis. That's just what we can manage to do with our time schedules. And we raise these birds primarily for breeding stock. In terms of our management, we have 2 breeding groups. So we've got 2 Royal Palm Toms, and it's a group A and a group B, and we rotate the daughters to the opposing tom, and we keep a few jakes back as potential backup birds. These birds are moving historically on a week or every 2-week basis. It's just depending on the time of year, how fast the grass is growing. And we use the grass for these turkeys and ducks because compared to other monogastrics, say pigs or chickens, turkeys actually get a little bit of feed saving from being on grass. And that's not to say that they can digest cellulose. What I'm trying to say is that they do get some nutritional benefit. It's more of a thing that they pick out the clovers and the other forbs. But yeah, you can get some feed savings on these birds. Chickens, that claim is more dubious, and I would doubt anybody who says that they increase the grain conversion, pounds of grain feed to pounds of bird on a chicken compared to, say, a turkey or a duck. In terms of it, we run some poultry netting off of a direct line from the house, and we kind of let them in here. That coop in the middle, just whatever you do, don't build one of those. You can see that you get the tendency to want to park it, and when you park it, you make mud. And you can see where they've scattered grain on the ground from their previous visit. Now, we've got some really active toms. We're always selling birds, so if you're interested, get in touch. But here's our main breeding group that we're working with right now. And I'm just going to check the water and the feed to make sure that we are even Stevens. In terms of it, we try to freshen up the water. If you've had ducks, you know that doesn't always happen. The water doesn't always stay fresh. And if you've ever had dumb turkeys, you can see sometimes they get in a little bit of incidents and accidents. So this poor guy knocked over a pallet on himself, so we had to doctor him up, and he's recuperating on his own. In terms of our grass management, when we're looking through our field, we're keeping an eye out both for the height of the canopy, the density of the sward, that is the stand of plants, and then most importantly, we're trying to see what phase of growth our plants are in. So as I'm looking down, I'm going to reach in and we're going to look at this nice orchard grass that we're going to pull up. So orchard grass, compared to a lot of our other species, kind of flat. I like to think of it as a little bit papery and then really blue-green. We're seeing the tillers on our orchard grass are starting to elongate. Tiller is one of these units with the roots attached. It's the basic unit of a grass plant. And we're just keeping an eye out in case those tillers are going to try and put a seed head on. This early in the season, that's very unlikely, but as we move more towards April and May, we're going to probably start seeing some of those seed heads form. You'll notice that lighter green stuff is a mixture of fescue as well as some of these small grains, primarily wheat and barley that we feed out. as part of our nutritional program. So this is kind of what this system can look like. The room for improvement really comes down to improving your grass management. So in this situation, moving based on the intensity of use would increase our odds that we're not making mud. And then also trying to make sure that we give our forage a head start. So our grass plants, we want to make sure that that's at an appropriate height, density, and maturity before we bring animals onto it. Now, those of you who are smarter will just use ruminant livestock. Given the size of my space, I can't really do that, but a boy can dream.